Hey everyone, it's November 30th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share it with serial killer Robin Gecht, leader of the Chicago Ripper crew, who murdered at least 18 victims in the early 1980s. And that is him right up there. Born in 1953, Gecht grew up in the Chicago area and as a teen worked for notorious serial killer John Wayne Gacy. There's no evidence that he helped or even was aware of those murders, but he did become a horrific killer in his own right. He was married and had 3 children, but was obsessed with stories of Satanism and built his attic into what he called the Satanic Chapel. It consisted of an altar draped in red cloth with red and black crosses painted on the walls, with the only light source being numerous candles. He was interested in Satanism as a child and began sharing that obsession with his friends who would come to his home in the evenings to participate in rituals. They adopted the name the Ripper Crew when they began abducting women in 1981. While many of their victims were prostitutes, any and all women in Chicago were at risk, and there were even suspects in the disappearance of the wife of a member of the Chicago Cubs. The bodies of these women turned up strewn throughout the area, naked, mutilated, and showing signs of brutal abuse throughout 1981 and 82. The biggest commonality was that their breasts were either bitten off or cut off, a piece of information the police kept a secret at the time in order to use it in interrogations. Gecht's crew would use piano wire to remove them, and he kept them in a trophy box, which when found contained parts of 15 different women. The crew believed that Gecht had the power to control their minds and bodies, and that once under his spell they were powerless to resist participating in his sick rituals, which included eating parts of their victims. His attic was the scene of nearly all of their murders, and when they were only caught when they dumped one victim after sexually abusing, mutilating, and stabbing her, she miraculously survived the ordeal and was able to provide details about her attackers to investigators. They were able to round up the crew, which consisted of Gecht and 3 friends. Because his accomplices refused to testify and physical evidence couldn't tie Gecht himself to the 18 murders, he was only convicted of attempted murder for the victim who survived, while his crew faced more severe charges. One member was executed in 1999, one is serving a life sentence, and one was released on parole in 2017. Gecht was sentenced to 120 years and will first be eligible for parole in 2042 when he is 89 years old. While in prison, Gecht gave an interview in which he was asked about why his crew was so obsessed with breasts. He replied, "It is a thing with my entire family going back, as I'm told, to my great-grandfather. Each of us men have married large-breast women. My ex-wife is a 39D, and yes, she was very satisfying to me." As far as I can tell, he still proclaims his innocence, but I tend to agree with the jury. Interestingly, Gecht's son was also convicted of murder in 2000 in an unrelated matter and is serving 45 years in prison. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Robin Gecht, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.